Hi everyone, my name is Shantasia. Welcome to my channel. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm really thrilled that you're joining me today. Today I just really wanted to be encouraging because I think as writers it becomes very frustrating for us when we are creating and all of a sudden you go out and you see a movie and you read in the newest book and you find out that the elements of your story or certain situations in your story are right there in front of you and you're like, oh my word, everyone's going to think I stole this. So I just wanted to just lay a little truth down. And that truth is, as Proverb says, there is nothing new under the sun. We have all had a grand experience in this world, and it is a shared experience in many respects. In a lot of ways, our life is very individual. Our experiences are processed in a way that is very individual to our personality, but situations and things in life are the same for a lot of us. So it is feasible that you are going to be writing a story that is similar. Now the thing that makes your story different and that makes it special is that only you can tell the story in the way that you do, because we all have our own individual voice and we all have our own interpretation of the things that are happening around us in the world and the things that are happening to us as we walk through life. So it's important to remember that even if your story seems to be matching along the lines of someone else's, there is still validity in what you are trying to share with your novel or what you are trying to share with your nonfiction book. You are the only person who can tell the story the way that you can, because your stories are just as unique as you are. And it is important that as writers, we kind of step back from the idea that everything has to be new and fresh and never done before, because that really is not reality. We can take situations and tell them in a way that is completely unique because we have that different perspective. We have those different experiences. So I just want to encourage you to keep writing. Even if you feel that your stories are following something so closely, just keep writing. That first draft means nothing to anybody else. It's only about you. It is only about you telling that story to yourself so that you can go back and work on your edits and tweak it and change it and perfect it. Your first draft is like, it's like flow. If you're writing the way that I write, you're sitting down and you have your plot line. Yes, you do, because you are a planner just like me. But you have your plan, you have your idea. Even if you're a pantser, you have your idea of where you want to go. And you sit down and you are letting that story flow from you. So a lot of what I feel when I'm writing is that it's super subconscious. If I can get myself right into the zone, as my friend Keisha used to say, if you can get in the zone, bring your save button with you, number one. But if you can get into that zone and you get into that flow, you will see that there is something so unique about the story that you are telling. And the only real way to get into that flow is to relax, step back from the idea that you have nothing new to say. Just release the expectation of that writing section. You don't want to walk into a writing session thinking that you are going to write the perfect draft, the perfect first draft, and you're just going to have perfection and everything's going to be wonderful and no one has ever thought of this before. You want to sit down and be open to allowing yourself to breathe, because creativity does not come from stress. Release the expectations that you have pressed on yourself for your novel. You just really need to let it go, let it be what it is, because I don't care how many times I have sat down and I have planned a book from start to finish that I have ever stuck to it 100%. And the reason is that a lot of times these stories that bloom in our minds, we don't realize that the things that we have to say are sitting somewhere back here and they're just waiting for us to grab them. But we have to be willing to let go and have them come to the surface. So I just wanted to say, don't worry. If you have a character that is similar or a storyline that is similar, you can always change it if you're worried about it being seen as plagiarism. We are currently working on changing our entire series name and planet that the central conflict takes place on because of that reason. So yes, you do need to be cautious and be aware of what infringement is, because you don't want to be stealing from other people's work. You will ruin your reputation. Just allow your work to exist as it exists within your first draft. I struggle with this because I'm a perfectionist and I really, really want that first draft to read exactly like the books that I'm pulling off the shelf. And I do write a very clean manuscript. But at the same time, the worst scenes that I have ever written in my whole life, and they're clunky and awful and disgusting, those scenes end up being the best ones once we get to the editing process, because they are raw and they're real and you can feel the emotion as you're reading it. So just relax. It's up to you as the creator of the work to allow the work to create itself, because that is where the beauty is, that is where the uniqueness comes from, because it is only because of your voice and your experiences that that story can be told in the way that you are trying to tell it. So keep writing, don't give up, just hang on. It's hard, it's frustrating, everything seems so huge as you're going through this process. Just focus on one thing at a time, work your way through it, and keep on, because you have a book in you. You have something amazing to say, you have something amazing to offer the world, and you can change the world with your stories. Your story can put an idea in someone's mind that could change the way that they view themselves or the way that they view the world. So don't give up.